So I just want to touch on this idea of risk. Lots of people get concerned about buying businesses, particularly if it's in the distress space, about the risk that you might take on by doing that. And I want to remind you that when you use limited liability companies, your risk is limited to the paid up capital of that business, or to the capital that you've invested in that business. So when you buy a business for £1, your risk is £1. If that company goes into liquidation, then the company is responsible for paying its own liquidation, and if it can't afford to pay its own liquidation, then the government liquidator will step in and liquidate the business. So there is no capital risk involved. There's time and opportunity and a bunch of other things, but basically the financial risk is negligible or nothing at all. I remember actually I was giving a speech, so I was invited to come and speak to a room full of retiring senior armed forces people. So there were people from the Army, the Navy and the Air Force who were career military people, and they were retiring and they were looking for what to go and do next. So they had one speaker that talked about joining NGOs, non-government organizations like charities and things like that. And there was one person that talked about just going into corporate life and how to adjust going into corporate life. And there was me talking about entrepreneurship and the joy of being the master of your own destiny and how fulfilling it was to be an entrepreneur. And after I'd given my little speech, one of the hands shot up and said, oh dear boy, it sounds like what you're doing is terribly risky. And my immediate reply was, well, you think what I'm doing is risky, but you've spent your entire career being shot at. So people's idea of risk never ceases to amaze me, that they think that the possibility that you don't make some money is comparable to being shot at. It's astonishing. So you really need to recalibrate your view of risk, your appetite for risk, and also what risk actually means. Like, what is the worst case scenario? What is the worst thing that can happen in these situations? And I think you'll be surprised by how it's not really that much.